Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk about 7 signs your relationship is going well. I think we all love to talk about breakup advice and moving on, but I feel like we never talk about the positive, in relationships. So, here are my 7 signs. First is they bring you peace. Relationships can be work. Honest and clear communication can be tough. Adversity, like being long distance, can stink. Bridging, cultural gaps, how you were raised gaps, can be hard. When there's two separate individuals, separate entities trying to form an identity together, there's going to be work involved. However, in general, for, let's say 80% or 90% of the time, you should feel at peace with who you're with. When you're with them, you should be feeling calm, happy. You should be loving life more. Um, I think it's always a very bad sign if you're, going to hang out with them and you're, stressed out or you're alarmed or you're distrustful of your partner. You know, um, it should be a fun relationship. It should be a fun time. It shouldn't be stressful. You should be laughing for a good amount of it. You should be having fun. You should be most importantly, you should be your authentic self. You shouldn't be, hiding anything or being someone you're not. The second sign I would say is they're making you a better person. You know, there's a saying that I think it's something like, show me your best friends and I can tell, a lot about you. And the reason is the people you hang out with are an indication of the type of life you lead. And same goes for your significant other. Hopefully they're a good person who's making you better. And, hopefully, you know, you're thinking in terms of, we instead of me, and you're starting to be a little bit more selfless. Um, and bad habits that you might have, you're hopefully shedding those in an effort to be the best partner that you can be and the best person that you can be, not only for yourself, but for them. Um, and hopefully they're just making you, more caring, more attentive, obviously not only for them, but for the world. Yeah. And then I think the third sign is you know each other's friends. To me, it's always sketchy when one member knows the other's friends, but the other hasn't introduced to their friends. Um, I think being fully incorporated in friend groups is a sign. You want them to know your best friends, and you want them to be incorporated in your social circles. Your people that are important to you, and I think if you're both involved with each other's friends and you hang out with them a decent amount, I think that's a great sign. The fourth sign I would say is you're clear on communication styles. So some of us like to text throughout the day. Some of us like to Snapchat. Some of us don't like to text at all, but we like to do maybe a call after work. Whatever your communication styles are, you understand each other on them and you respect them. And I think in fights, this is critical. Um, if one of you is someone who likes to solve the fight the day of, you want to figure it out, even if there's a lot of high emotions, you want it to end, and a solution or some resolution to come out of it. Whereas if the other one is someone who likes to wait, take their time, not emotionally react, obviously things can work out, but you're going to have to figure out a way that the two of you compromise or, figure out how best you're going to manage, disagreements or discussions or arguments. Fifth thing I would say is you have trust and aren't jealous. I see this all the time. Like if someone's having a boys' night or a girls' night, you know, I feel like if your first fear is whether they'll cheat or not, you know, I feel like that's not great for the relationship. I mean, it just doesn't show a lot of trust. Um, you should feel at ease. You should want them to enjoy their night. You should trust that they'll make the right decisions. Um, Sixth, I would say, is you have boundaries. One of the biggest mistakes I think people make is, thinking their partner is going to solve everything for them in their life, be their therapist, their lover, their friend. And that's just not possible. You have to realize your partner is a human being with limits too. They can, in some way, be all of those things at times, but not full time. And I think it's also important, like certain things like you going to go see your friends alone without them. I mean, you can do that. And you doing hobbies that they might not do. Maybe you do like a workout class that they don't do or something like that. What stands out to me is I remember once asking my friend, if he could go to, like dinner or something like that, and he was like, "Oh, we can't." And I was like, "Man, like I like that he was thinking as a couple, but like in that situation, he could, she couldn't, but he said we can't." I think sometimes, obviously there's a good, balance in life that you need to have, but everything doesn't need to be with your significant other. I think one of the tough things that tends to happen once you get into a loving relationship is you get very codependent. And, there's a certain amount of that that's, just valid relationship codependency. But like spending every hour or like, Friday night to Sunday night, entirely alone, not seeing other people, things like that, that's just not healthy. Um, the seventh thing I would say is fights don't immediately mean you're breaking up. It's tough going through arguments and fights, and no one wants to do them. As I said before, when you have two separate identities trying to coalesce into this team, there's going to be discussions, there's going to be arguments, how to figure out, the best way to do things, what furniture to buy, later down, maybe what's the kids' names going to be, what holidays are we going to celebrate, things of that nature. The important thing to see in these fights, are you both looking at it from the we perspective or are you looking at it from the me perspective? I think there's a level of, emotional maturity that hopefully both of you are exhibiting in terms of realizing like an argument is not do or die. Working through something doesn't mean, it's doomsday and you're going to break up. It's about it's understanding two people are going to have differences. You're trying to figure out how to get where both of you can be happy, and most importantly, you want to just hear the other's side, the other's perspective. So these are the 7 signs that I think really tell if a relationship you're in is going well. Obviously, I'm definitely open to other feedback. If there's another sign for anybody out there that's been in a relationship or in one currently that you think has been, powerful to pass along to people, let me know. I'll be happy to add it. Thanks, guys.